Well, good afternoon, Whisperers. How are you doing this afternoon? I tell you, welcome, welcome, welcome into Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, the post show. You know, we just wrapped up our live show, which was live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on our home network at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. We had a little technical difficulty, but let me tell you, all in all, it was a great show and we're doing some great things. So I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Sonya. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, holistic health and wellness consultant, and motivational speaker. But by far, I'm always excited to say that I am the host of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. So today's show, woo, whispers. It was powerful. It was deep and it was necessary. Today we really spoke on, and I spoke about overcoming self criticism. And I have to tell you guys, this is a topic that literally vibrates and resonated as such a decimal for so many people. Literally, I got so many messages. We got messages and everything during the show and even right after our pre show. And if you haven't joined the pre show, let me tell you, that's every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Wisdom app. And if you're not a part of Wisdom, please DM us the word wisdom over on our social media page at whispers in a bottle underscore podcast. We're on Instagram. Or if you're on our Facebook page, please feel free to DM us over there as well because we literally want to pour in and have you be a part of our conversations at all times. So, listen, what I can't even begin to tell you what an empowering discussion we just had and the impact that it has over overcoming self criticism. And I want to talk about it here. For this show, I really wanted to lean in on the mental well being part of it when we overcome that self criticism. So I'm going to delve a little deeper into the important topic that we have here. And if you missed the main show, don't worry. You can catch the replay on our channel or wherever you listen to your replays or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. So, our first key element today is recognizing the power of self compassion, of course. And as I spoke into that, I shared incredible insights into how being kind to ourselves can really transform our mental landscape. And I mean, it literally whispers that's exactly what it is, the landscape of our minds. And when we shift our mindset from self criticism to self compassion, we open um, a world of possibilities and personal growth and healing. So, I always tell individuals that when I get to work with clients or they get to really kind of lean in on this kind of experience in their life, it is transformative because it is allowing yourself to let go of those unrealistic expectations, those burdens that get laden upon us. So, in turn, that's where we want to be. We want to let it go so we can have a healthy mind, body, and soul. And so, for me today, this afternoon, in this 30 minutes, I really kind of wanted to lean in on that aspect of the mental well being that overcoming self criticism has. I want to move into the second element where it's that reframing negative thoughts and emphasizing the importance of challenging those destructive inner dialogues by reframing our negative or that negative thought. We really get to empower ourselves to see situations from a more positive aspect, a constructive prospect or that bird's eye view that I tell you all about constantly. It's like giving our mind a fresh coat of positivity paint. You know, so many times when we're doing this or we're talking about certain elements, when we're refreshing our mind or we're really giving ourselves that opportunity to refresh our mindset, it is like getting that fresh coat of paint. Like sometimes you may have a piece of furniture, and some of you all may love to go and repurpose furniture. And you know that when you go in and you sand it down and you repaint it, it's so fresh, it's new, it has new life to it. So even when we're reforming or reframing the things in our mind, that if we get to kind of deconstruct those negative thoughts, that negative dialogue, it helps us then to be able to sit in a place and space of that introspection. Sometimes when I'm talking about certain things or working with clients in this space, I find that sometimes when they are working on this, they have a heaviness to them. And I think a lot of times they have to be willing to kind of let go of the heavy and allow that fresh air to breathe in. Because the heaviness comes from those unrealistic expectations, that destructive dialogue that you're carrying on or that is rotating inside of your mind. So let me ask you, have you have you ever successfully like turned a self-critical thought into a positive affirmation? Like some people are like, "You, I'll never well, instead of saying I'll never, I will accomplish the dreams or the goals that I set before me so I can be happy or I can achieve things that are going to make me abundant." Having those moments. Well, we gotta be willing to sit those words or that space of those words into a different place. Because if we're not cognizant, okay, so let me just tell you, sometimes we're not cognizant of the way that we speak onto ourselves, not into, but on to ourselves. Because when we speak into ourselves, we want to speak life into us. But when we speak on ourselves, that is to tear down, that is to break away, and that is to crumble the elements and that satisfactory of who we are. So a lot of times when I'm working with clients and working with different ones to get them to pivot that dialogue, and I told you in today's discussion, we're going to harness the power of self-talk. It requires us to change the dialogue that we have. It requires of us to be cognizant of what we're saying. So sometimes we have a tendency to speak without hearing, listening. And I told you, listening is a skill. As a therapist, I've developed this skill very well. I've even developed this skill very well in listening to myself. I told you, I'm a firm believer of speaking to myself. I have mirrors that are in my studio, even in here, doing this live. There's a mirror that you all can't see just past this lighting here. But I have it there that I can see me because I want to be able to see myself when I'm speaking or saying certain elements or speaking life into the discussions that we're having right here on Whispers in a Bottle. So sometimes when you say certain things, do you speak them with that authority over yourself? I want you to practice changing the negative dialogue. I want you to practice breathing life into the words that you say. Now, the word always has air into it. It has air into it. Now, understand this. So, I'm going to teach you something that is even a part of singing. So, when you hear singers, and I told you, you all know my background is in music. When we sing, we put that word always into a song because it has life that it carries through it. I will always love you. Many of you all are very familiar with the song from Whitney Houston. When she speaks that word always, it carries a threshold of knowing that I'm carrying you with me. When we say to ourselves, you are always a failure, you're carrying that life into you. You are breathing that negative into your soul. So, for us to extract that life of negativity from you, we must extract the word always into you are, because you are is a present word of dominance, pushing into the throat and into the soul. So when we sing, it actually is you are. It brings the voice and the tone down. That means that it's going to sink into the heart. See that? The rich soil, that rich soil. Mm, how are you harvesting your garden? See, the after show is so different from the main event. And it's even so different from the pre show. The pre show is meant to get your appetite wet. That gets you set up for the main course at 3 o'clock. The post show is the palate cleanser, it's the dessert hour, it's the coffee. It's the place and space that I get to sit in that is a little deeper and a little more personal when it comes to the topic. So, in turn, it gets me to kind of shift you even just a little bit more than I did inside of our main and our post and our pre show. This is a place where it gets to sit more into your soul and into the heart and into the belly. This is the nurturing of where we start to digest all of the goodness that we just had in all the courses. That's why this post show is so important. This post show really helps you to digest the information correctly. That's why it was important for me to really breathe and to birth this segment. You know, just literally 3 seasons ago, we didn't have the post show. But as I started to do the show and I started talking more and I started talking to all of you, I saw the post show was needed because it allows us to actually put into a different space and place. So during the pre show, I gave them homework. Now, for the post show, I'm going to give you some homework. Now, I didn't give you homework over there on the show, did I? I helped you to really get your master keys onto your key ring. Because, see, those master keys are going to be called upon for your assignments. Those master keys are going to be the components that are going to allow us to now work congruently with those keys. Each key has to have another key. So if you ever have a safe deposit box, you know you can't get in that safe deposit box without the other key. So don't go to the bank if you don't have the key because you won't be able to get in it. So let's engage in a brief writing exercise, okay? Just brief. I want you to take a moment to reflect on a recent situation where you found yourself being overly self critical. Now, take yourself back there for a second. You might need to take a second. You might be like, oh, I know what it is. Take a moment, all right? And like I told you, these assignments are even for you to do after the show because I want you to sit in a place, in a space of introspection. Because, see, when we sit in that place, that's a quiet place. Shh. Because, see, it allows us to really have the full on thought. Mind, body, and soul has to engage so we can be honest and we don't hear the inner critic. We allow the flow of the work to take place. Powerful. So, I want you to grab your pen and your paper and jot down the thoughts that crossed your mind. Just jot them down. And once you've done that, see if you can identify any patterns or triggers in that element. See if you can identify the patterns and triggers. So you're going to go back and you're going to think about a situation where you found yourself being overly self-critical. Okay. You're going to sit in that moment and space and place, and you're going to jot down the thoughts that crossed your mind. And once you've done that, I want you to see if you identify any patterns, tracers, triggers in that space. And this way it opens us up to a greater awareness of self. And self-awareness is something that you need when you're overcoming certain elements in your personality, certain elements that are keeping you from developing and growing. So this is what my clients get to do. And this is what you're going to get to do today. So once you get that, just remember we're all in this journey. But once you get that and you see that there are certain precursors or tracers or triggers, your object then in the exercise is this. What words, this happens to me like, oh, well, good. If it happened to you last night, then it's fresh. It's fresh. That is perfect. So it's something that you can draw on fresh. Okay. So since it's fresh, you're going to put down what are the patterns of the words that you are triggered or say to self. What words do you start saying? So immediately your pen and paper, your pen should be flying off the paper. It just be flowing. Don't even look at it. Don't think about the word. Just write down the words, the patterns, the triggers. From there, I want you to also put down what those words make you feel. What do they make you feel? Because, see, we have to identify the feeling that these negative connotations or these negative words place on us. It's like space holders. It's like somebody just ripped up and put it up there for you. Let me put a little pin note right here for you. There you go. When you see that, then right under that feeling, put the powerful positive word that you want to speak life into. So if the word says that you put there that it says it feels that I'm stupid or you're so silly. I'm brilliant. I'm confident. I make mistakes, but I show up and do better. Or maybe it says you never, notice the word, it never speaks down into the heart. I am capable of overcoming whatever. See that? Speaks life into the heart. Comes against me. Understand the power of words. Understand the way that we are putting them into our soul. Don't store them up as if they're like some badge of honor or like little cute little things that you put in a jar, a little keepsake jar. Negative words are not those cute things that you put up on the shelf. Mm-mm. Negative words are what you put into a garbage bag and you throw out and you never go back and get them. They're like that old, ugly, dusty, mildewed sofa from back in the day, like maybe some great pass person gave you that the sofa cover is like, nah, don't sit on that. That's what negative words are. Negative words are the stagnant water that you would never pour yourself a glass of. Now, if that's your thing, we got to talk. Because stagnant water is nothing that you should be sipping on. No day. No day. But that's how powerful this is. See, Whisperers, overcoming self criticism has to be your choice. You must choose. You must choose to overcome it. And that's how powerful it is. So, as we wrap up today's after show, I always tell you guys we're in here, we get our coffee, we have a little, chit chat time together. I want to thank you all for spending your life seconds with me because you don't even realize how powerful that is. Just allowing me to pour into you and even to have you pour into me by your support, by you showing up, by you being the dynamic energy that you are, is something brilliant, something that should be celebrated, something that should never be depreciated, devalued. I teach constantly on that we all have value. I tell all of you all constantly, if you take nothing away from me, just know that you are valuable. But see, when we say that, it means this, that we are willing to accept self in totality. It means that even those little flaws, those little hiccups, those little bumps along the way, we celebrate, we accept. This season is powerful. Season 8, and I think all of our seasons are dynamic. I have to say the last two seasons especially have been something that has been shifting constantly. Yes, exactly. That's it right there, baller. I am high value. I am highly valuable. You are. And everybody should be putting that in the chat. Everybody should put that in their heart. Everybody should be placing that everywhere, throwing stars up for yourself. You look, all my clients and many of you all that are here in the Facebook group, I see you guys. I love the comments that you're putting in here too. Many of you all know that I tell you guys to celebrate yourself at all times. Some of you all are part of my pixie dust group, and you know to celebrate yourself. We throw some little pixie dust over ourselves, and we are like all into it. We are 100% into it. Sometimes it just requires, yes, it just requires us to show up for us. It just requires of us to be our own cheerleader. But if you can't be your own cheerleader, guess what you need to do? You need to come back every single Friday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over on the Wisdom app. And like I told you, if you're not on Wisdom, don't fret. Send us the word wisdom on our Instagram page and we will get you an invitation because we are doing dynamic things. We are hosting good conversations. I want to encourage, I want to uplift, and I want to pour into you. Then, on top of everything else, don't worry. You got the 1 o'clock show? That's good. Come on over at 3. Come to the main dining room. Get over there at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle and let's sit down and have a divine meal together. And then we'll come over here for the post show. The post show is where we get to really digest our meal together. The post show is where we really get to pour into it and relax and let that good flavors and the aromas just kind of marinate. And that's what's important. And that's what's important. So I want you to keep cultivating your gardens. That's that heart of yours. I want you to keep cultivating your gardens that those beautiful flowers start to blossom and grow in the development of your beautiful GPS called your brain. So this way, you have right directions every time you take a turn. Every time there's a moment, a space, and a place that is going to be a detour, your GPS reprograms and recenters you and sets you on the course correctly. So let's get into it. Let's lean all the way in. I tell you guys constantly there's always a live link to my calendar, and tap on it. Schedule a discovery call. You'll thank yourself in the long run, I promise you that. You get value out of these conversations? Imagine how it is one on one. All right, guys, with that being said, my name is Sonya. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, holistic health and wellness consultant, and motivational speaker. But by far, I'm always honored to say that I am the host of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, that's live every Friday at 3 p.m. Well, technically at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Wisdom app. We start our show off at 1 o'clock over on Wisdom. Then we kick it off with our main event and our home platform at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. Then we're right here for the dessert hour, which is, of course, YouTube. And we're right here at Whispers in a Bottle. I thank you all. Yes, you will get value from. Yes, please come on in. You see, my tribe is strong too. I love them. Thank you all for spending your life seconds with me. Please, everyone, be safe. Have a great weekend. But over the weekend, don't forget to do your assignments. Don't forget to go and watch the movie Frozen so you really connect. You connect with the lesson that was given to you in the first show, in the pre show today, because that's a powerful lesson that you really need to take away. And I'm not endorsed. I don't get paid for you going to watch Frozen or anything like that, but it's really something that is going to help you to get that master key of letting go into place correctly. All right, guys, take care.